Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pod. It's Christian Joy, and it's been a hot minute. As everybody should know by now, it's the 19th of March at the time of this recording, and March has been pretty crazy. I don't know about you guys, but I already was going into March and April knowing that it was going to be challenging based on the astrology and what psychics have been saying that have been finding their voices to my ears. Nothing that I seek out. They just their content finds me. Plus, I'm totally into astrology anyway. So, but it's been really interesting how this month has unfolded so far. I knew in the beginning of the month my calendar was already crazy. I was like, how am I? Okay. And if you guys uh, don't know until, like, if you guys are new to the podcast and haven't been listening to me for a while, I've been dead broke for a while. I haven't. And this is not out of low frequency speaking or energy, limiting belief. Like, I am physically, monetarily broke now in terms of abundance and prosperity um, and all that energy. I'm actually very abundant, very prosperous in all other areas of my life, minus the physical money aspect of it, which I've been getting a lot of messages recently, especially before the beginning of or especially last week during meditation, that I am supposed to be where I am. I'm on the aligned path. It doesn't look great by society standards, which I acknowledge. But I think that was the point. That was totally the point of me taking a different route, the route less traveled, and just seeing what happens. What will unfold? Where's the universe trying to take me? And I've noticed in my past, like around my late 20s, early 30s, that whenever I followed my heart, that things just worked out in the end anyways, even though like shitty things happened. And now it's like perspective. Like, sure, I haven't worked in a year, and actually everything else is turning out really great. Otherwise, like I have so many opportunities coming up this month, which is like very surprising to me. But it's a series of yeses and nos I made based on the alignment of my own energy. If it feels like a yes to me, if it feels like a no to me, if it feels like a maybe for later, and responding to that message, to that inkling, to that knowing, to that intuitive knowing inside telling me that, yes, I'm going this direction. No, I'm going in this direction. Uh, no, let's just put a pause on this for now. That's going to be a yes for later. So right now, the beginning of the month, what happened? I went on a snowboarding trip, and so grateful for my past self me, who paid for a season pass, so I could go snowboarding while I was financially less resourced. And I had the most magnificent time. It was so great. I love snowboarding. It was like the first activity that I stepped into when I was 33, like active athletic type of activity. And when I was historically a sedentary person, and if you're the person that resonates with this story, I always had that limiting belief or set of thoughts in my mind that, oh, you're not athletic, or because I always like my body type doesn't look athletic, so I had a belief, like a preconceived belief in my mind or belief system programmed into my brain that I couldn't do athletic things. But at the time, I was invited by friends, and gratefully, I joined, and I was like, wow, something new, something exciting. And that childlike energy came through me. And that whole season, I was boarding like probably once a week, once every other week. And I didn't want to stop. It was so much fun. And when you're in the frequency or energy or vibration or vibe of fun, childlike curiosity, exploration, limitation isn't a factor in your mind anymore. And sure, there might be a moment where you might injure yourself. It's one of those sports where that's so true that that can happen. And then you still have that intuitive knowing, like maybe I should slow down and not let my inner child totally take over because I am the adult now. I am the authority. I can reparent my inner child and say, I hear you. I know you're so excited, but let's take it slow. Just want to make sure we don't hurt ourselves because we want to keep going, right? We want to keep having fun. And that would be the inner dialogue in my mind. And she was like, okay, cool with it. And it's just like an inner conversation that you're having with your inner self. So this snowboarding trip that I went on, I'm seeing a theme here because last big snowboarding trip I went to, my best friend broke her wrist. And this trip, towards the end, my partner tore either his ACL or MCL in his knee. We're still figuring that out. And while like at my past self or past versions of my partner or me would have been like, oh my God, and the world trip is ruined. What are we gonna do? Medical bills, money, blah, blah, blah. It was very interesting to notice that those thought patterns, we didn't let those thought patterns take over. I know I definitely was within myself like, oh, injury, and I was like, he looks fine. Except for the injured knee, he's fine. And he was, and it's not that I didn't care or I wasn't downplaying his injury. He was presenting himself as fine. Like he's like, oh, my knee hurts, but I can still walk on it. Like he had a brace and everything that they gave him. But it was interesting the moments that he wouldn't speak up for himself, where it was very clear that yes, I do need a wheelchair at the airport. I can't walk through Denver airport because it's like a million miles just to get from the entrance to the gate. Like, I had to say yes for him. I was like, no, you're getting a wheelchair. That's ridiculous. It's really interesting to see that in my partner, that he couldn't advocate for himself. And I was like, so interesting, something to notice. I don't have a word for it yet, why he does that. I know in myself, as a younger version of me, I had a hard time advocating for myself. In fact, I don't know if I've said this on an earlier episode, but both of us had similar upbringings. We had similar fathers with similar temperaments. We were both raised by our dads and not really by our mothers. And so you get grown adult children who were raised by dads and who didn't get their needs met when they were children. Yeah, there are humans out in the world that were raised by fathers, single dads. Well, my dad wasn't a single dad, but his was at some point in time. And my mom was working a lot. And that's a story that doesn't get enough, um, what's the word? Doesn't get enough light shown on it. The spotlight, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't get the spotlight. Nobody hears of those stories. So I'm sharing here that there are people out there who were raised by their dads solely as their sole caregivers, and why a lot of people out there might not have a more nurturing aspect to them. Not that all mothers knew how to do that, know how to teach that to their children. Everybody's dynamics are different. Every family's dynamic is so unique to them. And then let's fast forward to, in the beginning of the month, I was like looking through Craigslist real hard for gig work. Like anything. I'm coming to understand the reason why I haven't been able to find. I actually have been applying for nursing jobs recently again. And I believe that the AI algorithm that they use to filter through applications has filtered me out as a candidate in Southern California. And I even would apply out of state and I still wouldn't hear anything. So it's very curious that this is the path that universe has laid out before me. Like, even if I wanted to, will I even get it? And I'm still like pushing the button and clicking submit for these resumes. And I'm only doing it out of like no attachment to the outcome. I'm doing it out of curiosity now. It's not that I'm saying yes to a nursing job. I'm open to a nursing job that feels aligned. Um, it's really interesting to know that, and I want to say this too. I've talked to like around probably 20 people who are in the same situation as I am and trying to look for work, who used to have like great, like prominent, they were well off in their old careers, like careers in finance and in tech, marketing and things like that. Maybe not marketing, but other things like that, that haven't been able to find work. And so this is a collective direction. Like part of my mind would say like, oh, am I doing something wrong? Like what am I doing here? Like, am I just like, am I not doing enough? And I'm like, definitely am doing enough. Sometimes, some days when I send applications, I get so exhausted sending many applications. I know this, one of my other friends, she sent over 100 applications. I know people have sent hundreds. It's a really interesting time right now. And it's really interesting to know and see that people aren't shitting on themselves about it anymore. Like the way things are these days by our past standards is pretty kind of crazy, like what's going on in the world. So there's a shift in the individual collectively. Like, I'm getting a sense that the exhaustion from the societal drama dynamic is starting to shift. Like, social media is burning us out for all the drama that's going on. And I'm like, for me personally, I've never been into the drama, but thank fucking God, because I'm over it. I've been over the drama for a very long time. I've never been into it. I'm especially over it now. Like, let's move on and start taking care of each other and start building new things and creating new realities. I'm excited for that. And some of you will be like, okay, Christian, whatever. What does that even look like? Well, like I'm gonna like say this until the cows come home, but it, whatever, whatever your dreams are, comes back to our dreams. Like, our dreams are not by accident. Whatever we're dreaming of is on purpose. And the world that we want to see can be true. Because everything in our current reality started from the imagination first. So, what do you do with that information? You see this big vision, like maybe you want to start doing retreat spaces. Been thinking about it for years, but haven't been able to take action on it. Or maybe you want to be the CEO of your own organization that is so aligned and has incredible moral values that cares about each person, and no hierarchy dynamic. Each person is equal. Oh, how beautiful. Ah, I love that. Or what if you're dreaming of being the person who can travel the world and still make an income? Or just make enough to like, have a stable life, make enough money. Or maybe money isn't your jam. Maybe you're the person who's like, I'm not going to be like those CEO billionaires hoarding all the money. I want to share in the capacity that my dreams are showing me that it's possible. Oh my God, all of these ideas that are coming through me sound so juicy and beautiful. It all starts with you today. You at this very moment. You can't get to Z because you're at A. The first step to a dream is saying yes to it, then taking all the steps to it. So you got the rest of the alphabet, my friend. Your A is your yes. Z is the goal. And I'm also going to say that maybe when you reach the goal, it doesn't end there. Like, maybe somewhere down the path and you're at H and you realize this goal isn't for me and you switch directions. Your dream, your vision will evolve with you. And I've noticed that in my own vision, my future vision. I have a future vision that I've seen since 2022 when I participated in my life coaching program. And it's only evolved over time, and it gets more and more beautiful and more detailed, and more things are getting added in. And I'm just like getting more excited I was like, wow, there's something interesting about this vision that I see. And it's the same one. It just like evolves. A lot of the details are the same. Becomes more clear as you move forward. It's really incredible. So, what are you dreaming of today? What are you dreaming of today? And what are you going to do today to step closer to that dream? Maybe you're at yes. I still need to say yes. I'm too scared to say yes. I feel like an idiot, like a loser, like insane and delusional for believing this dream. Trust me, I felt like that for a while until I was like, fuck it, my body is so shot. I want to see what's on the other side. My body wants to know what different reality I can make instead of my life, instead of the ones that people told me is true. Because our minds are limiters. Our minds are limiters. Our brains operate out of only past instances, and that's the library in which it pulls from. So our futures, our dreams, are our possibilities. And how do we get there? And this word might this word might trigger some of you because most of us have been programmed out of this particular word, including myself, and that is our creativity. Our creativity. What do I mean by this word? What does creativity even have to do with this? Well, when we co-create with the universe, with the higher powers that be, God, spirit, source, whatever you believe in, because we're not doing this all on our own. We are part of one collective, and when we follow our aligned path, our intuitive yeses, nos, and maybes, we are co-creating an experience with the universe or spirit God. And our path opens up a little bit at a time, until we get to that future vision or dream. And during our experience, and I'm going to sound like a broken record, it's about the journey. It unfolds so beautifully. Like, couldn't make this up, but that's how creativity is. It's like these podcast episodes that I make for you guys or my writing on Substack. I start with one sentence that feels like, oh, I feel inspired by this one sentence that I want to start talking on or writing about. Or if you're a person that draws or paints, it's the same process. I have this picture or vision in my mind. I'm going to start with this one line. I'm going to start with the next line, the third line, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so forth. Lines are done. I'm going to add color, etc. I'm going to blend these colors together, see what happens when you mix all these colors together. And then eventually you reach an end product, and you either love it or hate it. It's okay. There's so much to learn about yourself in the process and in the ending, and then in the starting again, and through the process, the ending, the beginning, and so on and so forth. That's all we're ever doing. Starting, process, ending, starting, process, ending, over and over and over again. So, how do we want to feel throughout this whole experience? Do we want to feel joyful? Do we want to feel love? Are we feeling really shitty about ourselves during this? Like, oh my God, I'm making something and it really sucks. It really sucks. And you know what? I'm going to tell you that's okay. We all have to start somewhere. We all have to start, we all started as babies and then we grew up into adults and then we become very old, seasoned humans. We all have to start somewhere with something we've never done before. We all started from point zero, the 0 point. So how do you want to feel during this process? And when you feel really shitty in your process, in your beginning, in your ending, it is always an opportunity to learn something about yourself. What is this feeling? What is it about this feeling? What is this feeling trying to tell me? And then even in the moments of joy and excitement, wow, like I really got overjoyed, really excited about this thing. Where is this attachment to this thing coming from? Because the joy and love, or even the fear and agitation, all come from within. It's not actually the thing in front of you. Your brain, your nervous system's wired to react a certain way to whatever's presenting itself in front of you. These feelings are coming from within. So what are these feelings want to teach you? And when you want to elevate your vibration from the fear, agitation, anger, guilt, shame into frequencies of love, joy, oneness, you're letting go of old versions of you, old experiences that you had in your past that have been living and sitting in your body for a very long time. And when you do that, you open up the road in front of you. That creative, endless possibility to the dream opens up. The path starts to open up, and you start dancing with the universe instead. You start seeing, oh, this is a possible route. You see possibility. You see the yeses more than the nos. Maybe you're a person, everything's a no because everything's scary or gives you anxiety. When you let go of those old versions of yourself, the world starts to open up. So, anywho, I hope this episode was very inspiring for you. I was having an inspiring moment in the beginning of this week. I took a this is really, really interesting path, side journey. Maybe it is the main quest, side quest. And during my perusing of Craigslist, I found like simple gig work, and I was like, oh, you don't need like background for this. So, and it was really interesting to notice that everything that has been a yes as an opportunity for me to participate in, whether it be money or not, has a theme. It's really interesting because everything has been no so far. Nursing's been a no, and other jobs, other various jobs that I've applied to. Anywhere. I was like open to anything. But the ones that were immediate yeses, they had a theme. And what's been coming up for me lately is events, live events, group events. And it was like so interesting that as I follow the path, that this is where my yeses are, the theme of my yeses, my open doors. And I applied for registration work at the Anaheim Convention Center here in Southern California. And I was a line monitor and registration. I'm that person in the line telling people where to stand or what line to go to. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I've never got paid to do anything like this before, but sure, why not? And it was very insightful. I always notice that universe always puts me in a position to learn from an experience because I'm going to need it for later. Because whenever I'm in a new experience, my mind always goes back to something I've done in the past. And I was like, oh, I learned something that's helping me right now for this exact experience. So I don't know what that will be yet, but event spaces, live events, group events are opening up in my field right now. Not in like the Zoom capacity that I've been doing for years now. So, which is really exciting. I was like, huh. And like even in the theme of my nervous system is prepared for it. Like I've was met with so many experiences till this moment, and I had that recent group hypnosis that I did for 19 people, and my nervous system was not agitated at all. I had a slight anxiety that I knew how to take care of right before. Otherwise, it was like universe is like, yes, you're ready for it. I said yes to that group event last year, but it had to happen in February. And universe had prepared me all the way up until that point. So you don't ever have to already know. Universe provides you with everything you need to know for today. Universe provides you with everything that you need for the day. And that day included a group breathwork, a group hypnosis for 19 people, which was my biggest group to date. And that was so exciting. And it was really interesting also to notice that I was yelling at like hundreds of people for those 2 days. And I was like, wow, I wonder what this is doing for my throat chakra right now. Like practicing my throat chakra, practicing, what's the word? Putting my voice out there. And I was like, I'm going to need this for later for sure. I don't know why and I don't know what in what capacity, but that's okay. I don't need to because the future is unknown. I'll know when I'm there. Anyways, all right, you guys. I just wanted to put a podcast episode out there because I've been like kind of in the dark with you guys for a hot minute just because there's just so much going on in March. And I'm just trusting that, you know what? I'm not really meant to really push out content like I had been in the last several months. So that's okay. And that's okay. Everything is connected. So trust that for yourself as well. All right, you guys, you know where to reach me, Substack. I'm on all the socials. I can reply to my messages, emails. And yeah, I'll hear from you soon. Love you guys. Connect with you on the next one. Bye.